We need more women to be willing to step out, take on these positions of responsibility, run for office. I know it makes a difference if you have more women in public service. I served in the Senate for 8 years, and I saw how even across partisan lines, Republican and Democratic women could find ways to work together. You can't see it if you don't actually try to do it. You can't do it unless you take a deep breath and decide you're going to get prepared for it and then step out and give it your best.
Running for office is the most terrifying experience I've ever put myself on. You have a plethora of experience in running for office. How do you stay close to your values, confident in yourself and your motives, and avoid the superficial claims upon you from what you're wearing to your hair and your makeup?
Whoa, how much time do we have? It's really important to just be true to yourself. Wear what you want to present to the voters, because that's who you are. And you will be criticized no matter what you do. So just feel good about who you are and how you're presenting. I kind of adopted a uniform in a way, because if you wear pretty much the same thing, and for me it was pantsuits, pants and jackets, after a while people get bored talking about it.
How have you aimed to be an inclusive leader that eliminates discrimination of all, but also expresses and promotes value of all as well, while acknowledging your connection to these minority groups?
Well, it's really an important question, Simone, and you're living it, because so many of the articles that were written about your becoming the commander of the brigade pointed out, number one, you were a woman and you were an African-American woman. You were the first African-American woman to hold that position. And so that's an important statement, but that's not all of who you are. And this new position gives you a chance to demonstrate high standards without discrimination and bigotry, unless we learn how to treat each other with respect, to include the talents and the hard work of everyone. We are doing ourselves and our potential a grave disservice. And you're supposed to lead everyone, not just people who agree with you, right, and to bring people together.
Public schools in America are continuing to struggle with accommodating the needs of gender nonconforming and trans young people, as we saw in North Carolina when they passed the bathroom bill.
If you look back in history, there's been a series of historic movements of people who were viewed as different, as other. And I think what happened in North Carolina should give you some measure of hope, because, as you know, there was such an outcry, and there was an effort made to reverse the legislation. That doesn't change attitudes overnight. You know that better than I. But you've got to have the institutional barriers come down first. And then you begin to hope people will be more understanding, compassionate as they get to know more people, and that will change attitudes.
As you know, now we see the refugee crisis is becoming bigger and bigger. And when I was living in refugee camps, I saw many refugees who left their countries, and when they became refugees, they gave up on their dreams and became so hopeless. And I just told the people there, when we think that it is the end of our stories, maybe it is the beginning of our stories.
Well, you said something very important, Mizun, and that is everyone has a story, and history is about our collective story. I went to a refugee camp when I was Secretary of State in the eastern part of the Democratic Republic of Congo that had been subjected to a brutal conflict. And I asked them, what is the most important thing that we could do for you? They said, give us more schools. That was more important than anything else to them. That is the fundamental hope of families everywhere. Whatever your background, your income, people want the chance to see their children educated.
Would you run again? If not, why?
No. I'm going to support other people who are running for office, particularly young people and especially young women. So I think that'll be what I will do for the next stage of my life.
I plan on running for president in 2024. Do you have any advice for me?
Well, I would be excited if you ran for president in 2024. Now,
2044.
2044, yeah, I was going to say. Mari, you're doing so much of what you need to do. You are learning how to work with other people and to solve problems. So, gee, let's see, how many years is that from now? So how old will I be? I hope I'm around if that's what you decide to do.
How young will you be, ma'am? How young will you be?